This is Houston, the fourth largest city in the United States, the most diverse city in the country. So many kids, so many places, so many cultures. How do we take the gospel to every corner of our city? We do it by building one relationship at a time.
I grew up with my mom, my dad, and 5 brothers. We grew up poor. We lived house to house. I grew up in multiple neighborhoods in Houston. For the most part, I lived in 3rd Ward, Houston. And when I was 8 years old, we went homeless. It was 7 of us living in a small room in a shelter. And I just remember thinking, like, I don't want to be like this when I grow up.
Growing up, I was in a very judgmental household. I struggled a lot with the fact that my dad wasn't there for me. We didn't even live in the same country, but he would never talk to me. So I always felt like he had abandoned me for no apparent reason or for who I was, or I never really understood that. But I was definitely lost, like completely lost.
We jumped from neighborhood to neighborhood, and they were rough areas. I wanted to get out so bad. So I wanted to do anything I could possibly do to get out and to get rich.
Started dating this guy who was not a good influence. But then in my senior year, I got pregnant. So that kind of shifted everything that I had planned for.
I remember thinking, I'm gonna do whatever I can do to get money. I had the resources. I was able to get to drugs easily. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start selling drugs.
It was a disappointment, for sure. My dad said that he knew I was gonna get pregnant, so yeah. How can you know that? You don't.
Man, that made me a lot of money. And that's what it was about. That's what my life was about. I wanted to make as much money as fast as possible.
When I found out I was pregnant, I had a horrible relationship with my mom. Before she found out, she kicked me out. She sent me to Mexico with my grandparents because I was behaving in a way that I shouldn't have. I was completely lost. Like, I was 17 and I was pregnant. I couldn't go back to the United States because my mom kept my resident card.
So people didn't call me Caleb growing up. Especially in high school, everybody called me Tim, and Tim stands for Tom is money. And I mean, I took that name and I ran with it.
I reconciled my relationship with my mom. I didn't know if I was gonna keep my daughter or not. But she fought for Isabella, like even before I did. Yeah, she gave me, a folder that had like the stages of my babies, and she said your baby could be like, see, it's the size of a pea or whatever, and yeah.
I remember going to Young Life because the people there were cool. I knew they were Christians, but they were different. Like, it was a very welcoming environment.
I first heard about Young Lives through my school after I had told them that I was pregnant. Coming to Young Lives was very comforting, knowing that I was loved and accepted, and that they showed me that somebody else loved me too, and that was Jesus.
First person to talk to me about Jesus was my Young Life leader, Anthony. He talked to me a little bit about it, and then we ended up meeting up one-on-one, and he was bold with it. He was straightforward. He asked me who Jesus was to me, and I told him, and then from then on out, every week, we would meet up and he'd talk to me about who Jesus was.
I knew that Jesus was real because when I was pregnant, he put the most wonderful people in my life.
I started realizing, like, hey, I need to be a true follower. If I'm gonna do this, I gotta be a true follower. Before Christ, I mean, I wanted to get out of the circumstances that I grew up in. I wanted money, I wanted the fame, the popularity. And then when I started following Christ, I realized that that's not the way to freedom, that's not the way out. It's all about Jesus.
There is hope that with every girl that we meet, that she will be able to meet Jesus and build a relationship with him, and that her life and her child's life will be changed forever.
So the cool part about leading college life here at the University of Houston is that, I mean, I get to lead these guys, and then one day they're going to become leaders into the high schools in our area. For instance, Kyle Glenn. I mean, I led him his whole freshman year, and then he became a leader at Yates High School.
I always knew who Christ was, but I never really wanted to follow him because I thought it'd just be a journey that I could not face. I started getting jealous of other people because in this day and age, it's really hard not to base your self-worth off of other people. Philip and I were in the car one day and we were just talking about it, and he's like, you can't base yourself off of other people. That's not how you're gonna find who your true self is. You've got to find who you are through Christ.
I was referred to the Latino Student Staff Program by my leader, Katie. The Latino Student Staff is a 2-year commitment program that will train me to be better at my job and for me to be able to reach out to girls that are Latino.
Whenever I was 15, I was a freshman in high school. I found out that I was pregnant, and that's when I first went to Young Lions. It was really nice seeing other young moms interact with their kids and just see them moving on in life still.
Young Lives is just like the Young Life Ministry, except that there's babies. So we do campaigners, we do club, and we do camp with babies.
I am grateful for Young Lives because they have really impacted my life. They brought so much positivity, and most importantly, they brought God into my life.
I think the biggest impact that I will have on my daughter Isabella is that she will know that she's loved and she's accepted, and that she has a heavenly father that will always, always be there for her and love her.
Favorite part about leading Young Life is hands down seeing the guys I lead transform. I mean, doing life with those guys every day, it's the best part. It's not about the club, it's not about the small groups, it's about living life with the guys that I lead.
It was really just Caleb's pursuit of me that just reflected Jesus' pursuit of all of us. The sense that how Jesus left the 99 to pursue the one, I feel like Caleb left all that he had to come pursue me so that I can in turn do this for other students. Having a relationship with the students is something I really strive for, because the same way that having a relationship with Christ, I want to have a relationship with these students so that they can see Christ through me as well.
This is how we move forward, by investing in relationships and building up leaders who will take the gospel to the next kid, the next school, and the next generation.